You know you need it, but what the heck is SEO? Today I'm going through what you need to know for SEO for your business and cutting out all the fluff. It's just straight to the point, what you need to know. And I promise it's not as scary as it seems. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jordan and I like to share small business tips for creative businesses. And I'm just gonna be honest, I worked in SEO for about a year with SEO professionals. I was working with them directly week in and week out, and it is not my favorite thing in the world. But it's also not as scary as people make it out to seem or as complicated as a lot of videos out there will make it try to look. If you are a business like mine where you're like the only employee, don't put so much pressure on yourself. I know this is one of those things that really stresses people out. You think it has to be done a certain way and it has to be done perfectly, but if you never try, you're never gonna get better at it. Done is better than perfect, and that's what I like to remind everyone, is that just the act of working on it and practicing it, you're gonna improve your skills and you're gonna get better at it, and you're probably gonna realize you either hate it, you love it, or you don't mind it and you'll suck it up and do it, but you're probably gonna fall on one of the extremes. You hate it or love it. If you'd rather read about SEO and be able to like print things off, I do have all of this in blog format. The way I see SEO is it's kind of like a spider web. The more you learn about it, the more pieces that start to connect together and you start to understand like how everything relates. That's kind of when you're getting into like big picture things, like huge websites. So for creative businesses, I don't want it to be something super complicated in your head. It's actually pretty straightforward. With SEO, there's always something to learn and always something to improve on. So on one hand, that's kind of a cool thing. On the other hand, it's kind of a daunting thing and stressful at times. I want to talk about some SEO terms. So before we can really actually know how to work on our SEO, let's learn the basic terms that people might toss around. Keywords are simply what people will type into Google or YouTube. It's mostly Google when they're talking about SEO, but keywords can be found in Pinterest and YouTube and TikTok even. Keyword difficulty is how easy or difficult a keyword is to rank for on Google. Search volume is the amount of searches per month that are happening. Meta titles and meta descriptions are simply what Google sees. When you search for XYZ, and your product comes up, if you have your meta title and description written out, then that is what will show instead. Not always, but usually. Domain authority is how trustworthy Google sees your site out of 100. So if you have 100 out of 100, which is very difficult to get to, Google would see your site as incredibly trustworthy. So like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, those are very high up in the ranks of domain authority because they're established companies and they're well trusted. Now, my company is more down in like well, actually I haven't checked in a while, but I think it's more down in the 20s, which honestly isn't terrible, but it could be better. I'd have to double check that, so I'm gonna look that up. So real quick, here are some tips you can do to improve your SEO for your website. I just want disclaimers for everything. None of this is going to directly improve anything, but it's gonna help everything overall. The better your site is, the faster it is to load, the less likely people are to click out of it, which signals to Google that this is a good website to be on and we should keep showing this result. So first tip is to have small file sizes. This will help your page load faster, which I just kind of talked about. Not to mention that there might be file restrictions and size limits anyways with your website, but it's just better to get in the practice of saving for web and saving at a smaller file size just to make things easier for your website to handle. The next step I have is to name your files with keywords. It's better to have your files say like cup of coffee versus image 0123. That just tells Google what the actual image is about and helps them learn more about the page. Does it really impact anything? I don't know. I'm really skeptical about SEO things that they tell you to do, but I will still continue doing them, mostly because I'm gonna name my files something that's helpful for me to look up anyway, so I might as well just stay in the habit and not upload image 0123 whenever I can. So it's just helpful in the long run for me to find things anyways. The next quick tip I have for you is to use keywords in anchor text. But let's back up. What is anchor text? Anchor text is simply the text it shows when you are linking something. So if you're hyperlinking something on a blog post, instead of saying click here, you could say learn how to do XYZ, and that would be your anchor text. So people would click that, and that's the keyword. It basically just tells Google what that next page is about and just adds another keyword to it. And honestly, I just think it's more helpful with the flow of writing. It's been drilled into me to use keywords in anchor text, so I just do that whenever possible. And you don't even really need to look up every keyword. I think you start to know what to use and what makes sense to use. Mostly for me, I just don't want it to pull you out of the sentence too much and have it be like this jarring sentence structure. Okay, so we're gonna ignore the fact that it is the next day. I had to take my dog to the vet. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably haven't seen that my dog started getting tremors out of nowhere, and they don't look to be life-threatening, but they're very scary. As someone who has never seen a dog do that before, I did not know what part was normal and not normal. So we are coming back to this video. So what is metadata? All it is the information that Google sees. It's the back-end information that you type out so that Google can read that. So if you're on Shopify, it'll be at the very bottom of the product listing or the page listing. It will be under SEO, and you can do the meta title and description. If you don't do this, Google will just pick whatever they want essentially to be shown. Usually this will be like the first 100 plus characters from your product description, and sometimes that doesn't really make sense to have it be the descriptions. So it is important to fill out the meta title and descriptions on your products, your blog posts. This just tells Google what you want it to show. This isn't 100% going to be the case though. Google is still going to try and show the results that it thinks their customer wants to see, and sometimes that isn't your meta description. Let's say for example you have a tutorial on how to create a wood sign with your Cricut, and one of your steps is weed the vinyl, blah blah blah, and someone looks up how to weed vinyl. That part of your blog post or tutorial would be what is shown, because they're not looking for how to make a wood sign in Cricut, they're looking how to weed vinyl. Now, chances of your post ranking for that when that's not the entire content of your post is probably slim, but that's a situation where sometimes they will pull out pieces of your tutorial or recipe or something to give a quick answer to their customer. This week alone, I've seen that so much because I've been looking up head tremors with dogs, and I'm looking up what is a head tremor, what are causes of it, how to prevent it, and all those things. I'm getting that quick answer right at the top of Google results. I'm either gonna be satisfied with that answer, or I'm gonna click into it and read more because, oh, I like their answer, I wanna see what else they have to say on this topic. So that's an example of Google using it to help customers click onto your post. That is what makes me want to click onto your post. There is a term for being one of those excerpt things, but I don't remember what it is, but that's beside the point anyways. That's what metadata is, and I'm gonna pop onto my computer and actually show you some examples of that and how to write them and kind of more information you need to know about titles and descriptions. Then I'm also gonna show you how to use alt text and keywords everywhere, and yeah. Then that's pretty much the basics of SEO. Let's take a look at some real life examples of meta titles and descriptions. So if you're on Shopify, you will come down to the bottom to this part and you can hit edit, and this is how you will be able to edit the title and description. This is kind of an example of what you might see when you're on Google. So for this product in particular, you can see that it's just using the first 320 characters from the description, which for this product I actually have a good intro, but sometimes you have what's included or things like that, and then it gets a little bit funky and doesn't really make sense for a description. I'm gonna go to Google, I'm gonna open a new tab and search exercise printable. I'm gonna see if 30-day exercise printable is a keyword. Oh, well, maybe if I spell exercise right, it will be. It's still not, but let's see if I can find one down here. Okay. Maybe just do. Finding it hard to believe that none of these are. Okay, so exercise printable has 50 searches a month. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that these didn't really have search volume, but we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna keep the title of this, and then I'm gonna beginner. Why can I never spell exercise right? So I'm actually changing this to great for beginners because I have exercise printable right there, and I don't really want to repeat it twice in a row, so I will add that. Here is the beginning of my description. If I click into it, you'll see the entire description. And here's what I mean by how it can get a little funky when you have like bullet point things. It just all becomes one big long thing. Challenge yourself. So you want your titles to be between 50 and 60 characters, and you want your meta descriptions to be between 150 and 160. I don't know why Shopify says 320. That is never really been accepted. I've seen 170 be the max, but 320 is gonna definitely be cut off on mobile. So I'm actually gonna save this because I didn't have anything there before, and now that product's done. I want to show you some other examples of ones that I've done. So this is a savings tracker that I have, and kind of along the same lines, $5,000 savings tracker, instant download printable, reach those money saving goals with a savings tracker printable. Included in this bundle is general savings, 52-week savings, and a blank template. I like having these check marks or quick bullet points to kind of give some things that people might be looking for at a quick glance. So that's just a personal preference. I don't know that this is like strongly advised or not, but this is just what I like to do. Here is a SVG file, and I kind of have my SVGs be very similar to each other. So I don't really change these a whole lot when I'm making new products because that can really slow me down. I pretty much start everything with the title and then some sort of keyword here. So the keyword here is running SVG, and then I always like to add for Cricut if I have enough space for it. The meta description for my SVG files usually go something along the lines of download this file name to make blah 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 with your Cricut or with sublimation. And then I like to add some quick facts. So craft ready SVG, commercial use, instant download. So this just basically quickly tells people that I can use this for commercial use projects. I'm gonna get it today, I don't have to wait, and the file is gonna be ready to use. So that's pretty much how I do all of my SVGs at this point. I don't like to overcomplicate it. Technically, you should be changing things up. I am just so much more practical when it comes to SEO. Like, I don't have a whole team who can be copywriters for me, so I like to just stay within my means, and what that looks like for me is having very similar meta descriptions for all of my SVGs. Here is my all-time bestseller. Here is what I did for the description for that. So this is one of my best sellers. So I made sure to highlight that right at the beginning, all caps, bestseller, so people know this is a trustworthy product and a lot of people love this product. So I wrote, this yellow sunflower vinyl sticker is loved by so many. Add it to your laptop, car, water bottle, wherever you need a little more sunshine. And I really like that. Straight to the point, some ideas of what it can be used for. It's kind of telling you that it's waterproof without saying that because I didn't have enough space to say that. So I think that one works decently. Here are some of my clear stickers, and here is what I wrote for that. I kind of like this one. It's a lot different than my other ones. I wrote, this clear floral sticker will look great on your water bottle or laptop. Black-eyed Susans are a symbol of encouragement, and that's what this sticker inspires. I hope these were good examples to show you and kind of help you understand that it doesn't have to be so stressful and so big of a thing. Okay, here is what my spreadsheet looked like when I was doing this on a weekly basis and like kind of super overhauling my website. If you want to use a spreadsheet, I will link this in the description below so you can download a copy for yourself. But basically what I did was I wrote the product title, separated it out by category, and then my target keywords. Some of these had more keywords than others, so I would do some keyword research and then I'd write them down and then choose which one I wanted to use when I was writing them. And then here's my meta title. It calculates the length of this so I can know if I am in the boundaries. See how I added a bunch of letters and it's over 60, now it turns red. So this is how you know if you're in the bounds. And then same thing for this. And then I had a checkbox to update it. So what I would do is I'd come through and I would do like 10 a week or something like that, but I wouldn't always go through and do it in my website all at the same time. Then I was just keeping track of what day I updated it. I had this page that would show me how much needed to be done, how many were done, and how much progress I've made. So then it was encouraging to see these numbers go up, and then I could kind of see, oh, I'm super close to being done with all the cards. Let me just go crank those out and then have that whole category done. So if you are going to use this spreadsheet and you want to count, what you do is you go to the page. So this is cards. That little exclamation says to count from this tab, and then this column if it's false. So if it's not checked, then add that up here, and then if it is checked, add that up here, and then this tells you the max. So these two numbers combined are 211. So you put your max right there, and you do the same thing for all of these. Isn't that so fun? Okay, so that's a little side tangent. If you want to use this spreadsheet, I will link a copy of it in the description below for you to download. So alt text is for visually impaired people who have screen readers. It says that right here actually on Shopify. Write a brief description of the file for people with visual impairment or low bandwidth connection. So I'm assuming that means like if the file's not loading, you could still read the description of the image. A lot of SEO people will say to just keyword stuff this, add keywords here. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you should fill it out appropriately. If there is a keyword that could be there, by all means use it, but don't go out of your way to use it, if that makes sense. So if I'm describing this and I'm saying this is a floral sticker, well, floral sticker is a keyword, but I'm not going out of my way to make it a keyword. So I hope that makes sense. On Shopify, you can just click on the image, hit add alt text. On WordPress, you can do something along the same lines when you're uploading. So it's very simple to do. So anchor text is simply the text you use when you are hyperlinking. I recommend using a keyword or something that makes sense to let people know what that link is about, and also to let Google know what that page is about. So instead of just saying click here, you can do what I've done and say, if you like this sticker, I think you also like this art print, and it links to another product, but the anchor text is keep on rising. So I'm on a blog post, I'm scrolling to see some anchor text, and you can see that I've done that here. For this example, the anchor text is kind of not clickbait, but it draws your attention by going, what the heck are you talking about? Let me go read this. So I didn't really use a keyword here, but it flows right into my sentence. I had this as text either way. Also at the end, I usually link to another post just because that's good for SEO, to have some link sharing between all of your pages. You always want people to stay on your website as long as possible, and adding a link for them to check out something is a good way to do that, and it doesn't take much of your time. Okay, so here is how you can use keywords everywhere. It's a plugin for Google. It's $10 a year, and you get 100,000 credits. I think even when I was using this for my job, I never got down to 40,000, so the credits go a long way, and it's only $10 a year. That's not bad at all, honestly. It gets you so much. You can get keyword information from Google, Pinterest, and YouTube, I believe, when you're on those pages. Oh, and also I think Etsy. When you're on those pages, it shows this information just like it does on Google. If I'm searching vinyl stickers, it's showing a competition of 1, which means this is going to be extremely hard to rank for, especially with this much search volume. That doesn't mean don't use it, because obviously if you have a vinyl sticker, you're gonna describe it that way, but don't go into your listing thinking this is the only keyword I'm gonna be able to rank for. But what you can do is you can come down here to related keywords, and people also search for, and these give you other ideas for keywords you can use to describe your vinyl stickers, or even product ideas like what people are looking for. So a lot of people want vinyl name stickers, probably for their tumblers and things like that. The best printer for vinyl stickers. So if you have a Cricut and you make videos or tutorials, this is a good topic to do. What printers should people be using if they are making vinyl stickers at home? Are vinyl stickers waterproof? These are where you can kind of get topic ideas from sometimes. I'm going to click on vinyl stickers for water bottle and see how much search result that has. So that's 880, still a 1. I think you'd have a little bit better of a chance of ranking for this, but it's still going to be difficult at that point. Okay, apparently pretty much everything when it comes to vinyl stickers has a competition of 1. Oh, usually in these ones, they have one of my designs that are stolen. So basically with keywords everywhere, just search for something. If you're seeing nothing being searched for it, use the keywords and other things over here to kind of get some ideas. Keep clicking through those, see if this coming up with anything that you want to use, and then you can kind of keep going from there. That's how I use it, at least. So you can see running SVG has a competition of 0-1. You can rank for that one pretty good, and there's 590 people searching for that. Of course, you're gonna have some of the big sites up here. Let's see though. This is a single person. This is a single person. These are big sites. Single person, big site, single, big site. Well, I'm not ranking for that one yet, but hopefully I will at some point. I hope you enjoyed this video on SEO and maybe you learned a few things. If you have any questions at all, let me know and I am more than happy to help. And if you want to see more small business tips and tutorials, then subscribe to my channel because I have new videos coming out every week, sometimes twice a week, if it's a good week. I'm also going to be releasing some small business resource guides in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to help. Or you can send me an email if you have some more specific questions that you want to chat about. I'm always here to help you out. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!